Wrestling on weed.
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 Wrestling on weed. Subscribe today. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Mr. HD, here with another WoW news joint. We're going to run quickly through the two pay-per-views that were on this past weekend. Two really good pay-per-views, actually. We're going to talk about the main two news stories of the day. It's not a whole lot of news going on, but there is some big news going on. Obviously, we got to talk about Sasha Banks. We're going to talk about Tony Khan and the Ring of Honor TV deal, maybe. Sort of, kinda, not really, maybe. But we're going to talk about those couple news stories. And yeah, man, these two great wrestling shows that we had on this past weekend. What's going on when you come in the stream? Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Wow Nation gang was cracking. Gruss, I see you in the building early, my guy. You already know what it is, man. Oh man, what else we got? Besides these? There's not a whole bunch of news. Me and Physics will cover all the smaller news stories tomorrow and anything else that happens after Monday Night Raw. So I'm just gonna talk about these two stories because I feel like they deserve some attention immediately. We got to talk about this Tony Khan Ring of Honor, this Tony Khan announcement, because he always has a big announcement. It's always a fucking big announcement with Tony Khan. Tony Khan be like, "Yo, we got a major debut. Stay tuned. It's AR Fox." Be like, "What? Wait a minute. Nope. Wait, that's." He stayed talking about he got a big surprise just to tell us some shit that he could just tell us. That's not really that big of a surprise, but. Anyways, everybody was expecting them to be, announcing a Ring of Honor TV deal, some type of, deal for a network of some sort, on a network of some sort. Especially because he just talked about on the media call that he's listening to the fans and he feels like, he understands that, they think it's too much Ring of Honor. We think it's too much Ring of Honor on AEW TV, and there will be less. So just based off of him saying that, along with there's going to be a big announcement, blah, 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 everybody made the assumption that Ring of Honor finally got some kind of TV deal. It's like really crazy what kind of slot they would get because, shit, Rampage is already in a terrible time slot. So it's just like, where are they going to go? To where people will actually watch, where it would make sense for the network and Ring of Honor and Tony Khan. Well, the answer to that is nowhere. Now, I don't know if this is just, just a temporary situation or, maybe, they're just kind of trying to hold us off with this because people have been clamoring for it and you got to put Ring of Honor somewhere. I don't know why they don't just put the shit on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody's on YouTube is literally the biggest search platform on the planet. Why would you not just put it on YouTube if you want people to have access to it? And you can monetize it. You could have fucking non-skippable commercials. You know how YouTube works. You could just monetize. I don't understand why they don't just do that. But unfortunately, Tony Khan made the announcement at the Ring of Honor Final Battle post media scrum, post-show media scrum. He said they're gonna relaunch Ring of Honor on Honor Club, which is Ring of Honor's website. That's where you can go watch it, and it's $9.99 a month. So, you know what I mean? Fuck if you already got 17 applications that you got to pay for, including your cable. You know what I mean? You got your cable bill. You got, if you use YouTube Premium, you got Disney Plus, you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got Paramount Plus, you got, they got all the pluses. There's just so many apps that you remember when you thought that, not having cable would be a good thing. And then you realize that, damn, I'm paying twice as much now. But, apparently that's where they're going to put it. There was a lot of title changes. They were kind of setting it up at the pay-per-view, which we'll mention in a few. But they were kind of setting up, the whole Ring of Honor brand, how they're going to relaunch it with the champions that they're going to have going into it. So a lot of the winners at the show made a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Made perfect sense, actually. Okay. Am I going to pay $9.99 to watch Ring of Honor? Probably not. I don't, it's not like I ain't got it. I just don't, it just seems like it's petty, and I don't watch it for free anyway. So it's like, would I watch it for free? So why would I watch it for $9.99? And that's the question I have to ask myself. And it's not because it's bad, you know what I mean? Based on the pay-per-view last night, it's going to be really good, especially if, they do the right thing with some of these talents that they have over there. The roster is going to be loaded because AEW's been signing everybody, apparently, to load the roster for both brands, AEW and Ring of Honor. But got to get on. You got to make sure people can watch it. This isn't a good way to get the steam going, the ball rolling for Ring of Honor. Like, this ain't it. Like, ain't nobody about to pay $10. How much? WWE gave up their network. Why you think somebody gonna pay for you? Peacock costs less than that, I think. I don't got the Peacock Premium, I don't think. I think I just pay like $4.99 or something. I'm not sure. It's too many apps, like I said. But I just want this to make sense. Tony Khan does a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense to me. But maybe some master plan will come to fruition, and in 2023, he'll come up with another plan, and they'll actually be on a TV show where it's on cable, and I could flip through the channels and get it, on Sling or wherever I watch my TV, my wrestling, or just put the shit on YouTube. I don't understand why. I mean, I just don't get it. YouTube is massive. Gruss said RIP ROH. We'll see. We'll see. Lalo, did you like your debut Friday night? What debut? What are you talking about? AEW, my debut? What are you talking about? Now I'm interested in what you're talking about. What, something happened on SmackDown or Rampage that I didn't see because I don't watch that show. AEW might be on the last contract with Warner Media. All Warner Media executives just got replaced for cost-cutting reasons. Yeah, but the Khans are very powerful billionaires. I don't think AEW is going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to be a situation like, what happened to Ted Turner at WCW and, before. It's only been 3 years. I think 1 million people watching Dynamite, is great. You know what I mean? On a Wednesday night, I don't think the network could ask for much more than that. You know what I mean? It's like they're kind of competing with, WWE. WWE's had shows as low as 1.4 this year. You know what I mean? In recent months. So it's not like they're that far off from WWE as far as ratings are concerned. So I don't see the show being pulled off of TV or anything now. They might have to do something with Rampage because Rampage is in a terrible, terrible time slot. Now, maybe they just don't care about that time slot. So they're like, whatever. If y'all doing 500,000, it's whatever. We'll keep you on. Like, who cares? But I don't know the details or how those executives are thinking or what they expect from their network and time slots, whatever. I'm not in TV. on that side of it. So it's interesting. I hope he has a plan because this ain't it. I'm not like, is anybody paying $10? Gruss, are you paying $10 for Ring of Honor to watch the weekly Ring of Honor TV show? I mean, Samoa Joe, Claudio Castagnoli, you know what I mean? You got Willa Yuta. I mean, you got Athena. Athena. I like what I'm seeing. But are you going to pay $10 for it to watch? You know what I mean? It's like $250 an episode. You're going to pay $250 an episode? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe if you catch, I don't know, man. I can't sit up here and say that I'm willing to do that. Dave, what's cracking, bro? Good to see you in here, my guy, Wild Nation, Blue Ridge Gang. You already know what it is. Yeah, man. I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all gonna pay $10 for it. We might have to share some passcodes or something. We might have to treat that shit like Netflix. So, right, that's what I'm saying, Dave. Like, I got the 10, but not for Ring of Honor. That's I don't know. That's tough. But we'll see. We'll see. I just hope the show is good, first and foremost. I hope they put on a good show. And it's not, some bullshit that nobody wants to watch, like Impact. Because nobody's ever gonna watch that shit. AEW got to fix Rampage. Honestly, Tony Khan he might be stretching himself a little thin for being in the game for 3 years. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He might be stretching himself a little bit thin, though. I hope he's got a whole separate team over there to do that. But let's go on to talk about the biggest story in the wrestling news cycle. Got to talk about it because Sasha Banks, Mercedes Vernado, the beautiful, talented, gorgeous Sasha Banks. Man, it looks like she's actually done with WWE, potentially. The writing is on the wall. It's written in blood. You know what I mean? It's like, it's there. Like, I don't know. There could be something sinister afoot, you know what I mean, with Triple H and Sasha Banks and like them planning something and working together and different things like that. But I'm trying to see what world that actually happens in. But obviously the big news is that Sasha is going to be showing up at Wrestle Kingdom 17 on January 4th at the fucking Tokyo Dome. And she won't be wrestling, but she'll be there. Well, she won't be wrestling as of now. And this is obviously after the date that Sasha already made clear to some other people that she couldn't wrestle until after January 1st, and no one really knew what that meant, whether that was some kind of contractual thing with WWE. But obviously that's exactly what it was, because now she's scheduled to appear at the Tokyo Dome. Now, the fact that she's not wrestling, I don't know if that is because there's more, some still some contractual stuff, or because she doesn't want to get injured because she has other plans to do other stuff. Now she's scheduled to make multiple appearances, but Dave Meltzer had all the news, had the whole scoop on this. And Dave, man, it's Dave. I trust Dave as much as you can trust Dave, with his wrestling, inside scoops. But he was talking on Wrestling Observer Radio. He said, quote, "The boss is done with WWE." And then he said, "Okay, there's a lot to this one. I had talked with WWE about it, and they basically had nothing to say as far as the situation. Obviously, we talked about this before. They have been talking to both of them, but they had been talking to her, Banks, about a return, and they were very far apart on money. That was the last that I had heard. What she was asking for was very high number for a WWE woman wrestler. But if you look at the amount of money that WWE takes in, she would still be underpaid. Everyone from Roman Reigns to Brock Lesnar is underpaid. That's what the last I heard of it was. Now her contract was set to expire at the end of the year. However, as we've seen with so many people, they could freeze the deal. There's so much to this. This is just such a loaded situation. Okay, so if they're not speaking on it and they're kind of blowing it off, maybe it's because they don't want to bring attention to her because she's not a part of WWE anymore. Something I feel like I got to highlight is it said that they were working on bringing Sasha Banks back and said nothing about bringing Naomi back. They said they were talking to both of them, but they were really focused on bringing Sasha back. I wonder what that means for Naomi, especially because Sasha has all these other things already lined up for herself. Now, if Sasha wants to go off and do movies and modeling and fashion and all this different stuff, I mean, good for her. That's what she wants to do. I mean, it sucks for us, the fans of her wrestling, you know what I mean? Which is why I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Always fuck with her because she's, one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's disappointing if we don't get to see her wrestle, but I don't see that being the case because I feel like along with all those extracurricular activities that she's going to be doing, Sasha's going to be in the ring. It might not be for WWE, but it could definitely be for New Japan. It could definitely be for Stardom or WoW. Not this WoW, but the women of wrestling. Like she could pop up anywhere and just do matches. She could wrestle over in Mexico for one of those promotions over there. She could just travel the world and do her whole John Moxley thing or what Daniel Bryan wants to do as far as going to do all these other promotions. I think that would be dope too. You know what I mean? But ultimately I would love to see her back in WWE. Now the thing is, New Japan has their relationship with AEW. So her not being under contract with WWE, if that does end up being a situation, could she pop up in AEW? I mean, it's possible. And if that happens, that's going to be crazy. Like if she ends up being Soraya's, tag partner in this match that Britt Baker challenged her to, I mean, when is that match exactly? I'm not sure when that match is, but if it's after like it could happen, and that would, I mean, that would just be crazy. That would change the game for AEW if that actually happened. Do I want it to happen? Kinda, but I don't know. I think Sasha would be successful and would bring value to whatever women's division she ends up in. Honestly, I don't know if it really matters. Like, is she gonna move the needle for either show? I think possibly a little bit, but you know, I think she brings equal value to both locker rooms as well. So it's just like I don't know which brand I would actually want to see. Is there any feuds that I want to see her do again? Basically, in WWE, or maybe her gets all those very talented NXT women that are being called up. Maybe, but would I rather see her against Britt Baker and Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose, Sasha Banks versus Nyla Rose? That would be crazy. And I think I'd rather see her in AEW, and she'd be able to, do the whole New Japan and fight. Who's the fucking champion over there? I'm already fucking blanking. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Damn, it's too many wrestlers. But yeah, she can go over there and fight in the New Japan women's division for a while. They've already teased that. She's teased it. So there's a number of things that could happen. she could do a lot of things, man. I think the door is open a little wider if she doesn't end up back with WWE. But it's like that's her home. That's where we know her from. The production value, the what they could, but then they gonna book her like a chump. We already know that. Sasha, out of all the four horsewomen, she's been booked the worst. I don't think that's even a question. Charlotte is like a 779-time world champion. Becky Lynch is the fucking man. You know what I mean? And gets placed in a championship match as soon as she comes back anytime she leaves. And Bailey has become, the, top heel of the three, you know what I mean, over the last few or whatever. So, and her title reign actually lasted for an extended amount of time. Whereas Sasha gets the title and has to drop it, you know what I mean, a month later because I don't know. I can't even explain it. You know what I mean? Her job is to put other people over for some reason when she's in WWE. And, we all know that's one of the reasons she dipped. You know what I mean? She not being treated well. They were supposed to job out those titles to somebody before she even left. I think they were supposed to separate the titles or something, and she was supposed to fight somebody, Ronda Rousey, and Naomi was supposed to fight somebody else, and they're just basically fodder for. I mean, we see how the titles have been treated. The women's tag team, they've been treated like that since they've left. So it's not like those things didn't come to fruition on some real shit. So it's Sasha was just like, yeah, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, she's the best. She is the best. You know what I mean? There's in WWE, she's the best. Her, Charlotte, Becky, the four horsewomen, and you could throw Asuka in there. But those are the best women's wrestlers in the company, as far as top stars. And she's never really been treated like that. You know what I mean? Outside of her being able to come out to the ring with Snoop Dogg and having dope entrances and all, that's her. You know what I mean? That's her. The whole boss thing, that's her. That's not, that's her being able to bring across that character. That ain't really WWE. That's kind of who Sasha is outside of WWE. You know what I mean? Clearly, you know what I mean? She's the boss. You know what I mean? Because she's out there doing her own thing, running her business. So, they say, it's over money. And I feel like that's stupid. Like if you're not gonna Sasha Banks should be getting paid whatever fucking, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns and maybe not Brock Lesnar. Maybe is she I don't know. Is she like Brock Lesnar levels? Like what bothered me about this was how he said, that's a lot of money for a women's wrestler. Now, obviously, I'm, comes to soccer and basketball. Like, don't come over here with that equal pay bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? You got to generate the same, statistics, financially for that to make sense. Wrestling, this shit is fake. And everybody's watching the same show. Everybody's on the same show. It's not a women's show and a men's show. Like, everybody contributed to the same show. Some of the women are just as big a draws as some of the men, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, and some of these women are just as big a draws as, some of the men. So it doesn't really make sense that the men would be getting paid more than some of the women. So if that's one of her, hang-ups, then yeah, I can, like, they literally main evented WrestleMania. So why are they getting paid less than the men? Like, if they're not contributing to the number, like, if, it's Sally, whoever, whatever. But, I'm talking about the stars. Like, all the stars, man or woman, should be getting paid the same amount of money. Like, that don't make no fucking sense to me, especially now, because it's like 50-50 as far as who they got on TV. It feels like, half of the show is women's wrestling at this point. So I don't know if that's, if that's her hang up. She wants to get paid as much as the men, or she just wants to get paid more. I don't know if there's other women superstars who are getting paid as much as her. I didn't look up their salaries or anything. But if she's in the company, she should be the top paid women's wrestler. I mean, is anybody who's a bigger star than Sasha Banks? again, she's in the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? It's like she does. So I don't understand how it could really be about money. I think maybe she made it about money because she just needed a reason to actually say no. You know what I mean? She didn't really, apparently the numbers she was asking for was really high, exorbitantly high. So it's like, maybe she was just throwing it out there to see it, because she knew they would be like, come on, Sasha. You know what I mean? What are you doing? You know what I mean? That's more than Roman make. You know what I mean? Maybe it was something crazy like that. And she was like, it is what it is, man. I'm gonna just go over here and do this other stuff. You know what I mean? Because she really wants to go do that other stuff. And when you're a part of WWE, you can't really do that other stuff. But if you sign with, if you're not signed with nobody, you can do whatever the fuck you want to. Because the deal with New Japan is she hasn't signed it. All this shit could potentially fall through, apparently, according to Meltzer. So, New Japan thinks they have Sasha Banks. You know what I mean? It's more of a handshake agreement, so anything could happen. But I think that, the fact the news got out there, I'm not sure if that was New Japan put the news out there, just to, kind of push her towards making sure she show up and, not leaving them hanging or whatever. If it's public, she might look bad if she doesn't actually show up, now that everybody's anticipating it. So, there's a lot of moving parts to this story, man. I'm excited to see Sasha in a wrestling ring, man. Obviously she hasn't been out of the public eye or anything, so we've gotten to see her beautiful, beautiful face. You know what I mean? All over the internets, when she's out there doing red carpets and, she just wrapped her first movie and all that good shit. Hopefully she's in The Mandalorian season 3 when that comes out early in 2023. So, we'll see how things go, man. We'll see how things go. Q said, I think if she does if she does leave, she will come back one day. There's nothing left for Sasha to do. She is one of the greatest. I'm more interested in what Naomi would do. Good point. Me too. Because that's what I said. Like, they didn't really mention bringing Naomi back. So is Naomi just going to get left hanging? Like, you shouldn't have followed her. Now, you know what I mean? But they can't do her like that. She's literally married to Jay. So I don't, or Jimmy. Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy. So I don't know how they going to do that. You know what I mean? That they can't just be like, yeah, you can't come back. Like, what if Jimmy be like, all right, I'm out. And then what if Jay be like, all right, you out, I'm out. And then what if Roman Reigns be like, all right, y'all out. Roman Reigns already halfway out. Solo Sikoa be like, all right, I'm out. You know what I mean? You can't piss off the bloodline, man. And she's married into the family. I think Naomi will be fine. I'm hoping Naomi will be fine. Like, I hope they don't do her like that. But yeah, that's it's definitely, one thing I've been worried about for a while. Gruss said, I get a box of Popeyes for $10. Popeyes, damn, I ain't no Popeyes in forever, man. Fried chicken, I don't do it, but damn, that shit sound good. That Sonic was good the other day. Russ was in here. I was talking about getting Sonic the other day, man. It was cold as hell too. Me and put my son in the car. We drove out to Sonic, man. That shit was good too. And I haven't been able to get up off the couch for 2 days. That shit weigh you down, man. That's why I don't eat that junk food. Naomi might be done deal and will probably show up at Royal Rumble. Maybe she wants to have some babies. Hey, that's a good point, Q. I mean, she is, in her early 30s. Maybe she does want to sit down and have some kids or something. Yeah, maybe she out there doing red carpets and posing in pictures with Sasha wearing sexy outfits and shit too. Maybe she just want to. Who fucking knows, man? I don't want to act like I know what's in their brain. Like they might have some other things going on that I don't know about. But do I want to see them both back in the wrestling ring? Absolutely. Not too sure how Naomi's acting skills would be. That's not her strongest suit when it comes to her talents. You know what I mean? But inside the ring, you know what I mean? A-okay with me. I wouldn't be that excited for an AEW debut after they dropped the ball with CM Punk. Well, they didn't drop the ball with CM Punk. CM Punk dropped the hammer on them. Let's be clear. Like, that's not... CM Punk dropped the hammer on AEW. They did not drop the ball with him. I mean, the way things played out, there's nothing they really, really could have done. Like if CM Punk would have took that to Tony Khan or to the Elite, even if it was just like a brawl backstage, and the press conference didn't happen, like to where you're just burying the whole company and making Tony Khan look really bad. Maybe if there's just a little skirmish backstage, we've seen that happen already at AEW multiple times, and people still get to come back to work. So I think it's just the whole public nature of it or whatever just made it. It was too much. It was too much. CM Punk scolding everybody in the company like he was everybody's dad. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, man. I think everybody had a hand in it. I think Sasha would be fine. As long as she didn't sign some kind of crazy long-term deal with AEW and 2-3 year deal. I don't think she needs to do that. I think she needs to just do her freelance thing so she can go wrestle in New Japan and all these other places that she wants to wrestle. I think that's the best thing for Sasha Banks because she looked up to Eddie Guerrero her life. She's a wrestler's wrestler. You know what I mean? She loves professional wrestling. That's why we see her traveling around, you know what I mean, in the best shape of her life. And she ain't, wrestled a match for WWE in the last whatever. So, she loves this shit. So I think she'll be fine. Naomi will be fine too. Royal Rumble, popping up at the Royal Rumble, that would actually be pretty fire for Naomi. That would be a good look. You know what I mean? You gotta put her into a top feud, singles feud when she come back if she's not with Sasha though. Don't just throw her into a fucking tag team with a returning Natalia. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to see. No, I'm put her in a tag team with Raquel Rodriguez. I don't want to fucking see it. Like, let her be a single star. Like, let Naomi, you know what I mean, compete with the Beckys and the Charlottes and the Baileys and whoever else you got up there. Let Naomi compete in that tier. You know what I mean? Stop holding her back. You know what I mean? It's like, at least, I mean, I know she's been champion twice, if I'm not mistaken. So, keep her there. You know what I mean? Keep her there. Make sure her reigns are legit. You know what I mean? Maybe not have the glow title thing. Maybe have her a serious character. Maybe put her a part of the bloodline. Like people have been screaming forever now. Like Naomi is part of the bloodline just makes too much fucking sense for them to not have done it. It made sense for Tamina to be a part of the bloodline. It made sense for, Naomi to be a part of the bloodline. All these stables now got a woman in the stable, Rhea Ripley, and so on. They Mia Yim, all these women as part of stables now with all the men. It just makes perfect sense that they throw Naomi into the bloodline. Now, Tamina, no. You know what I mean? Don't need to see Tamina in the bloodline. I mean, unless she's gonna be security. I don't know. But maybe put the Hurt Business together and give them shit. Just go all the way with it. Everybody gets 3 guys and a girl. That sounds like a crazy video you might see somewhere else. I didn't. But you know what I meant. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Might as well go all the way with it. Dave said they make Sasha drop the title 2 weeks after winning it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They always do it wrong, man. At least under Vince. She didn't know Triple H was gonna be in charge, so she bounced a long time ago. Let's see. Calvin Reese said, Mr. HD, let's go. Yo, throwback to the Xbox Series X giveaway on your other channel. Man, that's what's up, man. That was Hype Livestream trying to get an Xbox Series X for Best Buy. Let's go. That's what's up, man. Good luck, bro. Hopefully you can get one, man. It is the holiday season. I know it's hard to get a PS5 to Xbox right now. Everybody getting them. KGM was cracking, man. See you slid up in here, my guy. Good to see you. Cowboys, y'all snuck out with one yesterday, man. Don't get too excited, man. You snuck, hey, man. Y'all almost gave that one up to the Texans, bro. Hey, man. But listen, I'm not even here to talk about football. Let's just act like this week of football didn't happen. Let's just act like this season didn't happen at all. Because, Lord knows the Raiders fan, I just want to gouge my own eyes out. But we got to remember Triple H saving all the good stuff for Rumble and the road to Mania. Definitely. I don't think Sasha Banks will be a part of that, obviously. Maybe this is all a crazy diversion and Triple H is setting us up. You know what I mean? To see something crazy. I don't think that's what it is, man. I think it's Sasha just wants to go do her own thing, man. And I'm not even mad at her for it. Davey 49ers got Mr. Man. Yeah, that's crazy. The 49ers are just loaded, man. That's a loaded football team, man. You get Christian McCaffrey, but then you lose Debo Samuel. But then it's like, damn, you signed Christian McCaffrey. It's like you knew you was going. It's just like somebody just always to replace somebody else. They've lost everybody. 2 quarterbacks, like 3 running backs, a couple receivers. They stay losing people, and just, that defense is, as long as they don't lose nobody on that defense, they're going to be all right. Let's see. Layla, a win is a win in NFL. Yeah, bitch, shit. You ain't telling me. My team has lost 6 games by less than a touchdown. I would have took some. I wouldn't have cared if we won by 1 point. You know what I mean? Losing by 1 point hurts so much more. Trust me, it hurts so much more. But let's talk about these pay-per-views, man. I'm just gonna quickly run through the card. You guys can let me know what you think about the Sasha Banks thing in the comments. And if you're watching this on demand, you can let me know what you think about in the comments section. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel when you come through, all that good stuff. So this I don't know which one to talk about first. Let's talk about the Ring of Honor pay-per-view first. I'll run through the winners and the losers. Blake Christian and AR Fox defeated La Faction Iganable. This match was good until the end. Apparently something happened because dude kicked out before the 3 count, but they still let the 3 count go. And then Los Faction Iganable, I'm gonna call him LFI. They just beat him down with chairs or whatever. So it was, I guess that's how they was trying to get their heat back after the dude kicked out when he wasn't supposed to. I don't know what the fuck the miscommunication was there. But Roosh got on the internet basically and murdered kayfabe, completely just destroyed it, took an axe to it, then threw gasoline on it and set it on fire. When he got on Twitter talking about, hey man, you can't fool the fans, man. They knew that ending was bullshit, man. You know, like, bro. All right, man, we know it's fake. Shut the fuck up. Like, damn, man, you making us look stupid in front of everybody else who don't watch this shit. You can't fool us, but you can make us look like fools, motherfucker. Like, what the hell? Shut up. But sometimes it's too much when wrestlers do that, especially when they're trying to make that a part of the storyline. Like, you're telling a story while also telling us the story is fake. Like, shut up. Just stop it. I don't like, come on, man. I know. I don't know. It shit just annoys me a little bit. But then we saw Athena. H2O. And we saw Athena versus Mercedes Martinez. This match was really good. This match was hard-hitting. Athena's kind of got some crazy heel character she's got going on. I haven't been watching a lot of her stuff, but it was all post that news story we was talking about when she wrestled that one girl and was wrestling her super stiff. And I saw that, the highlights of that match, and she was, like, beating the shit out that girl. It was like, I was like, damn, do they got something going on? It was like that Charlotte Becky situation, like she was potato in her. But ever since then, she's, I guess it was a shoot work. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't on purpose, but then it was on purpose. She like, nobody would say anything if I was a guy. It was like, bitch, it's the girl saying something. Like, bitch, you hitting me. What do you mean? If you was a guy, I would say something. But no, I like what she's done. She's, obviously become, a super mega heel now, bullying everybody, knocking out refs, beat up Aubrey Edwards and shit. So she ended up winning the Ring of Honor Women's Championship with Mercedes Martinez. I think that's a great look for Ring of Honor. Whatever they're trying to do with their network situation, I think it's a good look to have her as a champion. She should have been doing way more in WWE. I wasn't, I can't say I'm a massive, I just wasn't a massive fan of Athena because that whole babyface bullshit that she was doing and the scream and, I always bigged up her finishing moves. She had one of my favorite finishing moves, you know what I mean? But just the babyface Athena wasn't doing it for me. You know what I mean? This version of Athena, the badass, just fucking people. I was like, yeah, I could dig this because she's obviously a great wrestler. So, this is a good look. So, yeah, she got the championship there. Swerve and Our Glory had a match against Shane Taylor Productions, and they did win. Because Keith Lee is a beast. They're still telling the story over there in Ring of Honor, which makes no sense because just because people watching Dynamite don't mean they watching this shit. So, you know, they were fighting, and Keith Lee was getting beat down, and Swerve just dipped out on him and left him because Keith Lee left him hanging, in their match against the Acclaimed. I think they were fighting whoever they were. I think it was the Acclaimed. Could be wrong. Keith walked out on him, so Swerve was just getting his payback and walking out on Keith. But Keith is a beast, so he still won the match. You know what I mean? So that was that. Willer Yuta for the Pure Championship. Obviously, the match under Pure Rules. Daniel Garcia. It's a good match, man. It's a good match. These two are, really good wrestlers. What do you want me to say? Like, these two wrestled their ass off. Willer Yuta ended up getting the win, which made sense, but was also kind of surprising because I knew who was going to win the main event, kind of, you know what I mean? But, I didn't think they would just give, Blackpool Combat Club all the wins, but it looks like they did. Willer Yuta ended up winning that one. Then we saw another one of the matches of the year. These guys probably have 3 of the top 10 or 15 matches of the year. Definitely 3 of the top 15. It would be, maybe I would have to do some research to see if it was 3 of the top 10, but all 3 of their matches this year. I had to watch this one on YouTube. I watch all the matches on YouTube, but I watched all the matches with no commentary because I was watching videos of people who were posting the matches. Yeah, that I think that made it better. I think that made the experience better, not having any commentary and just watching these guys beat the dog piss out of each other, man. Like, I think Dax wrapped the chain around his own head at one time and started ramming his head against people. It was like he's wrapping the chain around his fist and beating each other. Bro, oh man, they did so much shit with these dog collars. It was the Briscoes versus FTR. I know the match I'm talking about. It was bloody off the break. One of the Briscoes was bleeding in the first couple minutes of the match. The ref took a bump and ended up bleeding in the match because I think Cash went to punch one of the Briscoes and he moved out the way and the ref got in the way and got knocked out. Man, he was just gushing blood. Everybody was bleeding during the match, man. Everybody was fucking bleeding. They were doing fucking pile drivers and DDTs and suplexes onto the chairs. This shit was brutal, man. It was a brutal ass match. The Briscoes won because they lost the first 2. You didn't think the Briscoes were going to lose 3 in a row to FTR. It was the right decision. Everybody kind of predicted that. We talked about this last week. FTR going on the belt dropping spree instead of actually getting the AEW tag team titles, which they should have got a long time ago. Now they're going to have to drop all these belts to people in these promotions that need their fucking belts for their tag team champions who are on their shows. So makes sense. Another classic match between the Briscoes and FTR. Samoa Joe destroyed Juice Robinson, just destroyed him all over, just wiped the floor with Juice Robinson. Literally nothing to see here. You know what I mean? He left him a pile in the ring. It was terrible. So Samoa Joe retains the Ring of Honor TV Championship. And Claudio Castagnoli beat Chris Jericho in it was a good match between these two. I think the finish was pretty much what people were really talking about. Castagnoli winning the match with the big swing. I think he spun him 32, 33 times, and Jericho tapped the fuck out. He didn't spin him and then pin him, which would make sense because I don't know how anybody would kick out after being spun 30 times. I don't know how he still stands after he does that because I get dizzy. I literally get dizzy watching him do it. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm like, I don't want that to be his finisher because it makes me nauseous watching it. So I'm like, So I know he feels fucked up doing it. You know, maybe he takes one of those pills that you take when you get on the boat. I have to take one when I get on the boat because I get seasick. So, you know, and I love the water. So I, you know, one of those nausea pills or whatever the hell it is. And yeah, maybe he takes one of those before he does his match. So it, you know, it helps him out a bit. But he spun him 32, 33 times, man, and Jericho tapped out, which I would have tapped out too, because it didn't look like he was gonna stop until you did. So looked like he was just stuck and the momentum was just carrying him around and he couldn't stop himself. So Jericho was like, hey man, fuck this. I quit. I thought it was a great finish to the match. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I would tap out if I felt somebody was going if somebody had already spun me first of all, you lucky if I ain't already threw up all over everybody. But yeah, I'm gonna tap out. There's no way to exit. How do you get out of the move? You can't, you're literally swinging. There's no, you can put your arm, you might break your fucking arm. You try to stop yourself like that. Like, there's no escape. The only escape is for the person to stop, you know? So, I mean, shit, you might have to tap. And that's what Jericho did. He got some flack for it online from some goofy wrestling fans. And they were like, you know, he was like, hey man, shut the fuck up. He's like, you don't know what it's like to deal with that move. I'm like, shit, I can look at it and tell that it sucks. I don't want nobody to do that to me. I'm doing doing the little song and dance with my son. The wheels on the bus go round and round, and I spin around 3 times, and I'm like, whoa, okay, that's enough. That's enough rotations. It's enough rotations. I'm gonna just say, son, you got it. You got it. But yeah, man, it was a good pay-per-view. You know, they got the balloons and the streamers for Claudio and all that. It was a big deal. They made it look like a big deal. The pay-per-view was really good. All the matches were really good, even with the botch in the first match or whatever. There were some pre-show matches. Whatever. They were there. It was some good pre-show matches though. I really like Cheeseburger, man. I like that guy, man. His name is stupid, but he's a good wrestler. I like that guy. And the chick from DC, the African chick from DC, I forget her name. But I follow her on Instagram. There's so many fucking wrestlers. But I enjoyed her match too. Her match with Willow was pretty good. So overall, Ring of Honor Final Battle was definitely a good pay-per-view, man. Worth watching for sure. We got to get up out of here, get ready for Monday Night Raw in a minute. Let's go through NXT Deadline, another pay-per-view or premium live event, WWE, that happened this past weekend. Let's go through the results of that. You had the Iron Survivor challenges that were happening. You know what I mean? These matches were happening, and they were for number one contenderships for the championship of each division or whatever. And you get crowned the Iron Survivor or whatever. So, the first one was the women's match. It was Cora Jade versus Indy Hartwell versus Kiana James versus Zoe Stark. And Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne Perez got the win. This match was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Like, there was a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean, that happened. Like this concept is kind of dope. It's a little janky, but you know, maybe I'm just tripping because it's like you want to be first in this match because then you got 25 minutes to get more pins. If you last in this match, you got 5 minutes to catch up, basically. So I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's not really fair. Yeah, I mean, it's not fair by any stretch to the person that comes in last, but it kind of worked. They made it work, but I don't know how often you gonna make it work without making some stuff look stupid. You know what I mean? It's like, how often is the person who comes in 4th or 5th gonna win if the people in the ring already got 3 or 4 pins? You know what I mean? Or maybe, you know, maybe nobody has any pins, and you know, they come in and they're well rested, and I guess that's the chance you take. You know, it's a triple threat. You know, first 3 guys get in there and nobody's gotten any pins yet, and they've all been wrestling for 15 minutes. Then you get to come in at 4th or 5th, and you're rested, and you're able to take advantage. So there could be an advantage that way. So maybe I just worked it out in my head. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how the thing, they were thinking. But I like the concept. It made for an interesting match because, they had two people in the ring to start the match, and every 5 minutes somebody else came in. And, it was just, you had to rack up pins. Whoever had the most pins win. And if you got pinned, you had to go into the penalty box for 90 seconds or something. It all worked. Everything worked. It gave them the ability to tell some cool stories during the matches. Roxanne Perez won this one, which probably makes sense because I think she's not. I think Zoe Stark is definitely championship material. But I think Roxanne Perez is also ready for her push. She's been doing a lot of things down there. Cora Jade is still like, she's doing her thing. You know what I mean? The whole heel turn, you know what I mean? I think was a good look for her. You know what I mean? And, she has the opportunity to do big things down there. Indy Hartwell, you could have gave it to her, but Indy Hartwell is a champion. I don't know. Maybe not. But Zoe Stark or Roxanne Perez would have been my picks for this match, and Roxanne ended up winning. Isla Dawn, the vampire, I guess, the witch. I don't know what the fuck she was. She defeated Alba Fire. Which was kind of a surprise. Alba Fire, I like her, from NXT UK. She, Isla Dawn, she was doing NXT UK as well. I just don't know as much about her. The match was good. These ladies fight rough. You know what I mean? They fight like some some foreign motherfuckers that, don't give a fuck. They strong style. You know what I mean? They was beating the shit out of each other, and it was enjoyable to watch. Then we had the New Day challenging Pretty Deadly for the NXT tag titles. Now, if we were doing predictions, I would have won because I 100% would have picked New Day to win this. I feel like this was their get back for the Usos taking their longest reign. I feel like they was like, yo, all right, we give y'all this, but we got to get something. Y'all got to give us something. Triple H, you got to give us something. And he got two things because Kofi is now the all-time winningest tag team champion. I think he got 15, 16 tag team title reigns, and Xavier got like 13, so he's like tied for like third or fourth or something. And yeah, now they're the first Triple Count tag team champions. You know what I mean? They got all three brand championships. So good for the New Day. The match was fun. They did the Eddie Guerrero spot where, they tried to Pretty Daddy tried to set them up by faking like they hit them with the title belts, and Kofi was like, shit. And he threw the belt on the ground and, fell on the ground like he was knocked out too. And the ref was like, man, all y'all get the fuck up. What are y'all doing? It's like, I'm not falling for this shit. So I enjoyed that spot. It was pretty funny. So that match was fun. New Day won, new NXT Tag Team Champions. Interesting. I hope they wait till Mania to drop them or, take over. I hope New Day is going to wrestle at TakeOver, and that's when they're going to drop the titles to whoever, and it'll be a big deal. NXT, if you want to get eyes on NXT, put the New Day on there. They're not really needed on the main roster right now. Like, you could send them away and have them come back. It actually makes a lot of sense, if you ask me. Whoever ends up beating them in the, a TakeOver, is it's gonna be a big deal, So yeah, makes sense to me. Then you had the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. You had Carmelo Hayes, JD McDonough, Joe Gacy, Axiom, and Grayson Waller. A lot of my favorites. I like a lot of these guys, man. JD McDonough has one of my favorite moves, that pullback suplex. It's like my favorite move to do in 2K, and he actually did it in the match. And I was like, yes, that's my move, dog. The move where he looks like he's gonna throw him, but then he just pulls him back and does the suplex on that shit. I love that move for some reason. Who else was in the match? Carmelo Hayes, obviously, everybody, he's the next big thing in my opinion. Joe Gacy, obviously big guy, got to have him in there, doing his thing. Axiom tried to kill himself during the match. He dove off the top of one of the pods after, he had a little penalty when he got pinned. He climbed up on top of the cage and did a splash on whoever was out there. There's a couple guys out there. And then you had the winner, the slime ball Grayson Waller, who snuck away with a victory coming in later in the match and getting a couple pins, passing up Carmelo Hayes, who looked like he was going to take it because he had 2 pins. I think everybody else had 1 or something. Carmelo looked like he was going to take it. Then Grayson Waller came in and snuck in a pin right at the end, like with 15 seconds left. And then, Carmelo was chasing him around the ring. Waller was running away from him, so he couldn't pin him before the bell rang. I was like, all right. That makes sense. That's smart heel work. I get it. That makes perfect sense to do. But we can't be doing this every year. You can't do this every year. That makes perfect sense, though. If you're the guy in Waller's situation, that's exactly what you would do. But we can't do that every year. You know what I mean? It's 15 seconds. What if it's a minute left and then someone just decides to start running around so they don't lose the lead and run into the fucking stands and shit, be catering and shit, be backstage eating tuna sandwiches. Like, hey, man, I'm trying to get away from that. I know you got to stop other people from being pinned too, but I mean, if there's only so much time left, maybe that's what a strategy that people start to take up. But hopefully they figure out other ways to end this match in the future because I liked it. I definitely enjoy it. I didn't hate it at all. I'm a Grayson Waller fan. Yeah, I mean, his character is a great heel. He's so fucking annoying that it's perfect. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And we had a match that I was looking forward to, man. Apollo Crews and Bron Breakker. And this match was good. They, both had to do their little standard moonsault. You know what I mean? Apollo's was better. Bron Breakker landed on his face. I was like, oh, well, you see who won that contest. Next time they having a little chat at the diner, you're going to be like, don't remember that standing moose? There you almost whiffed. Oh, man. They've been trying to one-up each other, trying to one-up each other the whole time for the last month or so. It's like been a lot of friendly banter. And I just caught up on it because I don't watch NXT like that. And I caught up on it on YouTube and saw all the vignettes and the skits and stuff. And I was like, oh, shit, this is kind of entertaining. A little passive-aggressive buddy movie. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool. I didn't hate it. It kind of made me want to see the match. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, they both baby faces. Like, Apollo definitely seems like more of the dick. Like, he's antagonizing Bron a lot more than Bron is doing to him. But I was like, I like it. Yeah, I mean, they boys. They both good. They're both really good. And they're both just like, yeah, it's respect there. You know what I mean? But it's also like a little, hostility at the same time. And, going into the match, I might have picked Apollo to win this, man. I ain't gonna lie. I might have picked Apollo to win this just because I think Bron's ready. Maybe he's ready for the main roster, even though I heard some about Triple H saying he wanted to flush out Bron Breakker's character before he sent him up to the main roster. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. You know what I mean? It makes a little bit of sense. You've had a long time to do this. Been champion for like a year. How haven't you flushed out his character yet? That seems like a failure of booking. But it's neither here or there. I think Apollo could easily go back to the main roster with this gimmick and be a top mid. Apollo could be in the main event. You know what I mean? It's like maybe not Apollo could be in the main event. I don't take it back. I like Apollo Crews. He's super talented. You know what I mean? The fact that he could get over that African gimmick, and I mean, the accent was better than Kofi's Jamaican accent. You know what I mean? It's like with Commander Aziz, I love that gimmick for him. But they never did anything with him. I think they gave him the IC title for a little bit, but they never really pushed him and made him feel like a super duper star. Apollo's talent, especially in the ring. You know what I mean? He's amazing in the ring, and I think he's pretty talented at sports entertaining as well. So, maybe get another shot on the main roster. I don't know what else he could do in NXT if he's not going to be the champ. You know what I mean? It's like he is as good as Bron Breakker, so he can't just be losing to Bron Breakker and over and over again. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but NXT Deadline was also a good pay-per-view, man. All the matches were pretty damn good. I ain't gonna lie, there wasn't a bad match on the card. Even the Isla Dawn and Alba Fire match was really good. I can't Can't take away from anybody that did anything on the wrestling shows on Saturday, man. Everybody kind of brought their A game. Now, these aren't the A shows. Obviously, these are the B shows. These NXT is the C show. Ring of Honor is the C show. I mean, these are the C shows, I guess, for Tony Khan and Triple H alike. But everybody that was on the shows, I mean, you do have A players, I mean, on these C shows. You got the New Day, and you got, Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho and Cassioli. You got all these people on these shows, so they don't feel like C shows, so to speak. But everybody did their thing, man. I mean, I got to give all the wrestlers props for bringing their A game this past weekend. And I don't know if it's going to do any good for Ring of Honor, since you want people to pay $50 for pay-per-views and $10 a month for your... Come on, bro. Come on, Tony. You're the billionaire, not us. Like, what are you doing here? I don't understand. It's just... But NXT, this could actually get some traction for NXT. Like, I'm interested to see what's going on with, Braun Breaker and Apollo Crews going forward, and maybe Grayson Waller trolling Braun Breaker, because he definitely came out at the end of the main event and laid out Braun Breaker and stood over him with the title. So that's going to be entertaining, because now you don't have the babyface versus babyface dynamic. You got the super annoying asshole heel versus the babyface that everybody loves to cheer for. So should be a great feud between those two as well. But yeah, that's it. I didn't do specific blunt ratings for all the matches. There was one 5 blunt match. That was the Briscoes and the FTR. Everything else was under that. I mean, there wasn't a match that was lower than 3.5 blunts on either of the main cards. If I had to give them blunt ratings, everybody did their thing, like I said. I think that's it. I think we covered everything. Me and Fizzy's gonna be back tomorrow, because we got to cover Monday Night Raw. Obviously, and we'll get more in depth with all the news stories that have been happening. Let me check out the chat real quick before we get up out of here. Let's see. Where did I leave off at? Is that green screen, or do you have awesome sneaker collection behind you, like a sneaker store? There's no sneakers behind me. There's just belts, and that's a tech display. That's all my chargers and my batteries and my headsets and all that stuff on a pegboard. Oh, you mean the display behind me? No, I did have like tech, and sometimes I would switch shoes out for it, but now they're empty. They just have lights in them because my son goes in there and like just takes everything out and throws everything everywhere. So I had to like take my stuff out. Now they're just empty for now. They're empty displays, so my office can stay somewhat clean. But let's see. And shout out to Calvin Reese. Thanks for stopping back through, man. I appreciate you, my guy. Will Wilkerson, what's going on, man? I see you up in here. FTR is going on vacation. I mean, that's what John Moxley said. And they still got titles. They going on vacation with some titles. They deserve it. You saw Dax's face. He looked like he went through a cheese grater. So maybe they'll go on vacation. They definitely deserve it. Female match was okay. The men's was way better. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That match felt like TNA. Which one? The Iron Survivor did feel like some TNA shit, right? Like that's a good point. That's a good point, Gruss. It definitely felt like a little TNA-ish, but I didn't hate it. They could it. I don't know if you could do it every year though, because the finishes are gonna get wonkier and wonkier, and then it's gonna be like, all right, we seen somebody do this. We seen somebody try to run out the clock the last 50. Okay, it makes sense, but then it won't make sense for somebody not to do the bullshit. You know what I mean? Because you see that it works. So it's just like, why ain't they run around like everybody else does it's just maybe once every 2 or 3 years, you know what I mean, they pull this out, you know what I mean? And, still need to have some different finishes for it, but we'll see. Breaker is getting boring. I don't watch enough of them for him to get boring for me, bro. Like, if I watched NXT every week, maybe he'd be getting boring, but I don't. So when I do get to watch him, it's like, oh, man, I like Braun Breaker. I like this guy. You know what I mean? Ready for him when he comes to the main roster so I can actually see him. So, moderators, will Mr. HD ever return to his tech channel? I don't know. See, the thing about tech, if you're not sponsored by tech companies, that shit gets really expensive. Now, I do have some new pieces here, not a whole lot. I've been like kind of downgrade just because I want to, kind of simplify. I want to simplify my setup as much as you can have this kind of setup and be simple. But my cable management under my desk looks beautiful right now because I have the perfect setup right now. I could probably do something with my boom arm. I keep trying to do new things with my boom arm, but I wanted to try the desk thing, but now I can't use my keyboard right in front of me, so I might switch this up as well, but just be tinkering with stuff. But tech gets expensive, man. You want to review some shit, and you got to go pay for it. You got to go buy it. You could buy shit and return it and different things like that, but I don't want to be doing that all the time, buying shit just to return it. If I get some, like, sponsors and stuff, then maybe I'll start doing more tech videos. But honestly, that's a lame excuse. I'm going to just go ahead and put it out there because I have, like, 20 different things here that I could review that I've bought in the last few months or whatever. So I'm just making excuses. The answer is yes. At some point, I'll be returning to my tech channel. Not sure when though. Matt Riddle suspended over WWE wellness policy violation. That's cap. That is not true. I do not believe that one bit. Over what? Weed? Yeah, right. I wish they would suspend Matt Riddle for weed. Or is it the roids? Is it the roids? Why would you do Why would Matt Riddle do? He's like 180 pounds, 190 pounds. Why would he do that? Wouldn't make any sense. But maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow if it is a story. Cue the content guy. What's cracking, man? I'm not sure. He got a lot of things going on. On the pre-show interview, asked Carmelo Hayes when he was entering the match, and he said, "When my music hits, then walk the fuck off." Oh man, I missed that. I wish I would have saw that. Yeah, I love the New Day winning. Yeah, same here, man. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good decision. All right, Calvin, thanks for stopping through, my guy. It's time for Hayes to go to the main roster. I agree. Waller did spot that Chris Jericho did the championship scramble where he pinned someone at last second back in 2008. Damn, Will, you got a super good memory, bruh. Damn. It's wrestling on weed, man. I don't know if anybody got a stronger memory of you up in this motherfucking chat. Braun should have lost. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not mad at him winning. I just would have liked to seen Apollo lose, and I'd like to see. I mean, maybe he does need to be flushed out a little bit. You know what I mean? A little bit more. Because I don't know. Maybe he's just the awesome baby face, like his dad. You know what I mean? I don't know. They could both probably be on the main roster. You know what I mean? Tomorrow. Maybe because Apollo lost me, he's coming back to the main roster before Braun, because obviously he's been there already. They could have anything to do with Braun on the. They wouldn't have anything to do with Braun on the main roster. You can't feed him the Roman Reigns off the rip, but Gunther's right there. He's right there. I mean, there's options for people. Like, we've heard the rumors. Like, there's rumors we'll talk about that. Saved it for tomorrow, but it could be Brock Lesnar versus rumors. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, but Brock Lesnar fighting for the Intercontinental title. Do I want to see that match? Yes, absolutely. But, you know what I mean? I don't know. Gunther's right there, though. I think that would be the match, if you ask me. Braun Breaker versus Gunther. And then you can have him win. He could be Intercontinental Champion. He could feud with people like Sheamus, and I know Sheamus is a babyface, but they could just have some bangers. There's people for him to feud with over the IC title. And WWE needs good baby faces. You know what I mean? You could build them up to possibly, probably not feud with Roman. Roman probably be gone by then. But maybe, after Roman's done with all this shit he's doing with the Rock, or, WrestleMania, whatever their plans are for Mania, maybe bring Braun in to feud with Roman to get him over. You know what I mean? On some next level shit. Maybe bring Scott Steiner in. Have his own bloodline. You know what I mean? We get some Steiner math. You know what I mean? Have him and his dad out there, you know what I mean? Doing their thing. You know what I mean? Him, his dad, and his uncle, you know what I mean? Doing their thing or whatever. I'm sure they got some other family members they could bring out there. Yeah, their own bloodline, man. Bloodline versus bloodline, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Braun should be drafted to the main roster on the annual draft. Yeah, agreed. Get a Sonic Strawberry Slush mixed with the blueberry. I'll try that next time. I don't know if they're going to be like, man, you asked for too much. Spit in my shit. I don't want that to happen, man. The news just broke. Oh, the news just broke. The Matt Riddle news? Huh. Interesting. Well, we'll definitely be diving into that tomorrow. Me and the homie Physics. So make sure y'all locked in tomorrow around noon for more news, because me and Physics will be here to cover that in Monday Night Raw. Carmella should be in the Final Four in the Rumble, lose, and then add him some Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. I mean, I think all that sounds good to me. All that sounds good to me. Turn Breaker Hill and have him act like Scott Steiner. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump was great. There's no denying that. There is absolutely no denying that Big Papa Pump was awesome, even when he was like not awesome. You know what I mean? He was still awesome. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be mad if he brought the Steiner Math promo back just because. You know what I mean? Just because he knows how legendary it is. I wouldn't be mad if he turned heel and he cut that promo at some point. Just because. I think that actually might be pretty fucking funny. He would definitely get over as a heel faster than he will as a babyface, but that's not just Braun. That's not because he's not talented. That's just because it's more fun to be a heel and you get to do funnier shit and more fun shit, and people gravitates towards all the chaos and the nonsense because it's pro wrestling. That's what people like to see at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They really need some baby faces, man. But Lord knows WWE is not good at building baby faces. Look what they're doing to Johnny Gargano. And I mean, is Dexter Lumis a baby face? Is they one of their top baby faces right now? Who are the baby faces? Kevin Owens? He's not a baby face. This week, I guess. Braun Strowman. After that fucking goofy ass promo he cut backstage with, hey man, maybe one day you can get these hands. All right, I'm gonna go now. I was like, oh my God, who the fuck? What was that? I was so confused. I was so confused with Braun Strowman on SmackDown. That shit was weird. SmackDown was pretty funny, by the way. Kurt Angle brought the milk truck back. I enjoyed that. That was funny. But yeah, they need baby faces. So I see Braun staying a baby face if he comes in. Maybe you got team up with Braun Strowman. You have Braun and Braun. Braun squared. I don't know. It's like, oh my God, there's already a Braun. You know what I mean? Turn that man, get that man his name back. His name is Rex Steiner. Let's call him Rex Steiner. I don't understand. Braun Breaker's like that's so Vince McMahon. That smells like Vince McMahon. Ain't no way Triple H would have ever named that man Braun Breaker with 2 Ks. Man, how to make a stage name look like a stage name? Like, Jesus, bro. Like, Rex Steiner was just like the history is just there. It's like the whole Solo Sikoa thing. I don't know why his name ain't Solo Uso. Like it's just like they're literally brothers. But I guess Uso ain't they last name either. But still, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it'll make sense in the long run. But I like all these guys. We got good wrestling on Saturday, man. We got some really good wrestling. Hopefully, we get some more good wrestling tonight. Hopefully, my fantasy teams pull it out. That's what she said. Tonight, I got some fantasy teams you know, in the playoffs right now. It's the last week of the season, so we're basically in the playoffs already. So wish me luck on that. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow around noon. Get ready to watch Monday Night Raw in 15 minutes, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be doing a little bit of live tweeting if anything crazy happens on the show. So I'll see you guys then. Appreciate you guys blowing up the chat. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. It goes a long way. We're still trying to reach 1,000 subs so we can be a normal monetized YouTube channel. So greatly appreciate anybody that subs to the channel, man. WoW Nation gang. You already hear. You already know what it is. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Till then, deuces.